Desktop mic select. There we go. Good evening, everyone. Welcome. This is SimRace Africa. I am Ryan Hill. How are you all doing? I've got Nick with me in the booth. How are you doing, Nick?
Good evening, Ryan, and good evening, everybody, and welcome to Laguna Seca, a fairly, actually temperate Laguna Seca, given how hot it can get out there in California. But it's fantastic to be here and to bring you coverage of the next round of the SRSA 2024.2B GT3 Championship in Assetto Corsa Competizione.
Yeah, indeed. We're at the penultimate round here tonight, round 4 out of 5. And yeah, as Nick said, the weather forecast, it's ambient temperature of 30 degrees Celsius for the weekend. I'm not sure what that's going to translate to on the track offhand. Maybe a little bit cooler, maybe a little bit warmer, but yeah, not overly blazing hot in the middle of the desert, middle California. And yeah, famous track layout, putting it up on screen right now. Quite familiar to, I'm sure, a lot of people, especially for the famous turn 8 and 8A combination, more commonly known as the corkscrew. It's about an 18-meter drop, which is quite insane. You don't really realize just how steep it is, I believe, until you're there in person. But yeah, if you're in the sim cockpit, you can get a little taste of that. And yeah, we're out there tonight with the championship standing currently as it is. We've got Hardest Boyser leading the pack on 189 points, just 3 points ahead of Ross Bartle in P2, who is also 3 points ahead of Sean Bingham in P3. A lot of Ferraris at the sharp end of the field. We do see the BMW of Hannes van Beek in P5, and Ross was obviously in the McLaren splitting those Ferraris as well. But yeah, could be anyone's game up tonight. I do believe there is at least 4 or 5 people taking a skip round tonight. So yeah, keen to see how people are going to get on.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to see how it plays out. Track's currently green as we kick over to qualifying, so we'll have to see what we get there. So track's fast now in qualifying, so I think the times will start to plunge down as we see everybody piling out of the pits. Remember, only 15 minutes for qualifying, so while this is a short lap, I mean, we're expecting in the lap times in the 120 somethings, so we'll see how they get on. But as you say, Ryan, a lot of Ferraris this season. It's a bit of a return to form for the Fezzer. Yeah,
I do like to see it, being a long time Tifosi member. But yeah, it's funny how every season you kind of bounce between sort of a favorite car. There was the Ford Mustang, I think last season, and prior to that, I know we've had the Porsche one time, was extremely popular as well. But yeah, cars fall in and out of favor all the time, I guess, especially with the changes that Kunos make every now and then.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're gonna have to see how things pan out tonight. As you say, a couple of regulars giving it a skip tonight, unfortunately. But what it does do, of course, is tends to make the championship quite interesting. Of course, everybody gets a drop round, so that's completely fine. But when there's a driver, somebody who's towards the top end of the track or the top end of the standings, generally, when they're not participating, it gives everybody the opportunity to improve on where they might otherwise have been. So it can shake the championship up quite interestingly, especially as certain cars will be slightly stronger around certain tracks. Despite having the BOP in place, there will be certain small biases towards that. So yeah, gonna be very interesting to see as Mark Sutton starts his first flying lap.
Yeah, speaking of flying laps, so just to look at some of those historical records that have been captured here at SimRace SA, Mike LaRue actually carries the fastest lap in the Aston Martin Vantage last year, 122.24, but you can see from what's up on screen, they're all around about the 122 marker, so I think anything around that sort of pace is going to be quite competitive. And I think just
very interesting because Paul Fenter, of course, is kind of our lone Aston Martin driver, pilot tonight, and actually for this championship. How is he doing in the championship? Because I mean, that could be an advantage for him.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think he's sitting at 4th on the championship. Let me just double check on that and how many points he is behind.
Right. So potentially then we
Ooh,
could
no, he's a
have.
little further down. He's in 7th with 157
Okay.
points.
Right. So I mean, potentially Paul could jump a few places tonight. Then, if he has a good result in that Aston, we'll have to wait and see, of course. But maybe this is a track that's going to suit the Aston. I would have thought this track would suit the Porsche. Of course, Jason Luck, our only one and only Porsche runner at the moment. So we'll have to see how that goes. And I think we've only got one Ford runner tonight, and Anthony Moritz.
Anthony Moritz, yeah, for sure.
Have to see how the American does at the American track.
Yeah.
But the track is at 44 degrees Celsius right now, so that's absolutely cooking. Of course, when I said, hey, it seems fairly temperate, that was free practice. It was 8 a.m. in the morning. It's now 12 p.m. It is going to be scorching hot out there, and that's much more like the California I know.
Yeah, that is definitely way more in line with what I would expect. Yeah, we can see the clocks in the top middle of your screen, 11 minutes left of quali. Let me just quickly roll the tape for a hot lap guide brought to you by one of the Coach Dave drivers. So here we go. Alright, there we go. Back live pictures now, currently on the helicam with Sean Bingham in his Ferrari. It looks like he's closing up really quickly behind someone else's green feather there. Can't quite see who that is.
Yes, at the moment, Mark van Rensburg leading the way. Oh, there, Hannes van Wyk just pops in a 22.5, 0.2 of a second quicker than Mark van Rensburg, who now slots down into second place. We do have 5 Ferraris in the top 7, though, Ryan.
Wow, yeah, definitely a strong Ferrari showing right now. That's Moritz Krokkamp. That was causing a little bit of traffic for Sean Bingham, but I see he's dived out of the way, but Sean Bingham was pulled off for now. Big queue in the pit lane right now. Looks like Anthony Moritz going out on the forward. Then we've got Boyce, Van Wyk, and Stroud all lined up, ready to go.
Interesting. Halfway through this qualifying session, guys might be banging on new tires with a sort of almost a two-stop strategy, so to speak, from a qualifying perspective. Do a few laps, get those tires going, figure out the track, and then of course you want to be out on track at the last possible moment in qualifying, because of course the track is improving all the time. So it's still at fast, but remember, it's not a it's not like a switch. It doesn't click over from fast to optimal and then suddenly you're going 7 seconds a lap quicker. It doesn't work quite that way. To a degree it does, but certainly there is a progression in between those different stages. So these guys are definitely going to want to be out on track as that clock hits the last couple of seconds and starting a new lap. So we'll see how they manage that.
Yep, indeed. Just having a look down the field here. So Hannes van Wyk's currently got provisional pole in his BMW. Then it's a trio of Ferraris, and then Paul Fenter's Aston currently sitting in P5. He's sitting in the pits though, with 7 minutes to go, but I've just seen the car come down off the jacks. There we go. He's coming out now.
I was going to say, it seemed very odd to be happy to be 8/10 off, especially a man like Paul, who's known for a bit of pace in him.
Yep, but he's rolling now, and should get at least two or three flying laps in, depending on if he stays out or not and hits traffic.
Mike LaRue currently provisional P3, also heading out for another stint as well. So again, these guys maybe just trying to find a little bit of space on track. You know, I can see Mike LaRue has managed to get a big gap to the car behind him. So he's, I imagine he's going to back off quite heavily to find a little bit of space. Even though it's a short track, Laguna Seca, with only 19 drivers out tonight, these guys shouldn't have too much trouble finding the space.
Yeah, indeed. I think it is a smaller track, but I think we've got a slightly smaller field tonight, so I don't think drivers should be feeling cramped on track. Also, just a quick shout out to everyone joining us on the YouTube live stream. See Michelle shouting for hardest. We've got Nico Nell there, Christo, Sean. Welcome everyone. Good to have you with us and supporting the stream. Speaking of supporters as well, just a quick shout out to some of our sponsors. Starting with our silver sponsor, ALM Solutions. Oh, big drift, and then Mike LaRue. Sorry, just goes sliding off track there. Spins it around. But yeah, ALM Solutions, that's Ashley Wilson and his crowd. They sponsor our practice servers. We've got 2 of them that run 24/7. One dedicated to Assetto Corsa, the other to Assetto Corsa Competizione. And then JooTech as our gold sponsor. So JooTech Simworks, they manufacture, or local manufacturer of sim racing equipment, as well as a stockist of all sorts of other goodies. Racing wheels and pedals and other sort of hardware. One of the really cool things that they're doing at the end of this month, I believe it is next weekend, starting Friday, is the Rage Expo in Joburg. And they've paired up with NAG Magazine, and they'll have a stand over there where you can go and talk to the guys, check out some of their kits firsthand, and they're also going to be running some competitions where you can win some prizes, including some sim rigs themselves. I believe they're debuting 2 new products. One is a rig designed just for kids, so slightly smaller but bespoke. And then I believe they've also got another new type of rig. I'm just trying to find the details on that now. I think it is a GT. It just says one for adults, so yeah, I'm not entirely sure of the specifics. But they've got 2 new rigs essentially that they're debuting there, and you have an opportunity to win. They're going to do some hot lap competitions essentially. So go and support them. Go and check them out.
Next weekend, everyone.
Yeah, from Friday the 29th, I believe, is the first day of Rage Expo, and then it lasts the weekend.
I might, I hadn't realized that JooTech was going to be there. That's fantastic. Always great to have them on board. It's awesome to see companies like JooTech supporting local racing communities such as ourselves. So as Ryan said, a massive shout out and thank you to them. And I'll probably go through on Sunday. I'm racing Kyle Army on Saturday, so I'll probably try and go through on Sunday. I didn't realize they were going to be there, but if they're there, it's going to make an effort, I think.
Awesome. Alright, so just bouncing up and down the field. Let's see if I can find someone who's up on their Delta.
While you're doing that, Sean Bingham has slotted himself into provisional 2nd position, up from 3rd or 4th. So, getting a couple of positions going there. Paul Fent has slotted down into 6th place, so he's improved his time slightly, but not enough. I think it's Mark Sutton has managed to bump Paul down from 5th to 6th. Provisionally, of course. This is qualifying. We do have 2.5 minutes left. So Indran Governor there slots into 7th position. Great to see him towards the sharp end of the field.
Yeah, Indran's always a solid performer in one of 2, I think, BMWs out there. Hannes van Beek, the other. got Jason Luck trackside with him now. Ooh, as I say that, he's just recovering out of the kitty litter, but in our lone Porsche tonight. Got James Stroud out there in the trio of McLarens with Armand Bod, Donovan Marks, slightly up on his Delta. Sean Bingham is currently up 0.15 on his best, which will leapfrog him up to first position.
If he can convert.
Yeah, this is true. Long way to go through still on the track for him, though. But it's off to a good start. Paul Fencher's also up 0.2 on his, which would leapfrog him. Actually, it wouldn't. It just wouldn't. Solidifies 6th place for now. Hardest Boycer.
Sean is keeping this lap quite neat and tidy. I haven't seen any obvious mistakes.
Hardest Boycer's up 0.3 on his best. That just slotted up to P6, dethroning Paul Fenter. Sean Bingham manages to get around Mike LaRue there. He's dropped a little bit as he's going to cross the line. It's hovering around the 0.2, so this will take it. There we go, provisional pole position.
Great lap there from Sean with 50 seconds left on in qualifying. We'll see if he goes for another lap. Does look like he is going for a lap, so it clearly feels like there is some time to be made out there. We'll have to see if anybody else can challenge.
Just seen Mark van Rensburg start another flying hot lap, so he's giving it one last shot. Hannes van Wyk is 0.3 down on his Delta, so he's
backed out. He's warming up for. He's prepping himself for a lap. I think he's got a car ahead of him, and he's just it's going into
the line. Yeah, he'll make the line. It's 10 seconds left, so one last dash for Hannes van Wyk.
So this is the man who's going to have the best track conditions out there. Whether or not you can convert, though, that's always the big question. And everybody else coming across the line is going to finish. Paul Fenter doesn't improve. Can Endron? Endron doesn't improve either, and nor does Hardest Boycer. We do have Mark van Rensburg still out on a lap. So is De Bod and Luck. They are both out on a lap as well.
I was just on board with Mark. He was doing so well, up 0.4, and then he had a little bit of a tank slapper, which I think he caught and still manages to keep the lap valid, but he's lost a chunk of time. He's still up 0.22, but it's not going to be enough. I think it'll be enough to dethrone Hannes, maybe? No.
No.
He stays third. That was close.
Not quite. And Hannes was on for a lap, but unfortunately put it into the kitty litter, coming out one of the fast left-handers, the one up the hill just before you get to the corkscrew. But that's us. We are done with qualifying.
Yeah, we indeed. So Sean takes pole position. Hannes van Wyk lines up a little bit behind him. Second row, we've got Mark van Rensburg and Mike LaRue, and then third row, Mark Sutton and Hardest Boycer. We've got about a minute and a half, and then we'll have a rolling start. So I'm going to just roll a quick ad break, and we'll be back in about a minute. All right, we're back. 20 seconds left. So drivers will need to be clicking that drive button, unless they will start from the pit lane, and you don't want that happening. Cars coming off the jacks now.
Remember, these guys are going to have to do a full formation lap. They'll all go single file, warm up the tires. You'll see most drivers just dragging their brakes. We've talked about this before, but GT3 cars, that's the way to warm up. Weaving side to side doesn't really help.
No.
Most of them will also try and stick to the racing line, because you do get simulated marbles offline, so you don't want to put that on your tires if you can help it. Especially as some of these guys might be trying to eke out a full race on one set of tires. We've got, I think it was Paul Fenter and Ross Bartle last time out were trying to do that.
Yeah.
Around Kyle Army, and it was fairly successful. So we might see that. We might see that tonight. I'm not sure. Given the temperature, though, maybe not. But yeah, as you see, most drivers sticking to the racing line. They don't want to run offline. But we'll have to see what they do strategy-wise. Again, temperature could play a big part of it. But the guys have to make a pit stop, but they do not have to take tires, and they have to take a minimum of 1 liter of fuel, so you can splash and dash basically.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see what's going to happen, in particular with the likes of Paul Fenter, who's a big proponent of the splash and dash. I think he's done it every single round of the season so far. But as you say, the track temperatures are significantly hotter here. Being a little bit of a narrower track, it might be a little bit harder on the tires, so yeah, we'll have to see if you can conserve them or not. So they thunder through the corkscrew. They'll be lining up in double file now. Bingham just backing them up. We'll be holding.
Good to have Sean on pole. Let's see what he does.
Have the inside line.
Yep, he will.
Holding 70 k's an hour.
Waiting for that green. Why does Sean look behind?
He does. Hannes definitely had a little bit of a nose in front there with the Beamer, but it looks like with the inside line. Well, Sean is now in the middle, and yeah, Hannes has actually just managed to scoop around the front. Maybe he's caught napping there a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that was about, but Sean Bingham has lost out off the start line and slots down, as you say, into second. Looks like most people have got through the first few corners, so fantastic to see that. I don't see too many incidents up and down the grid, but we do have our top four kind of breaking away. In fact, even our top three.
Oh, there's some contacts. Mark Sutton on the side of Paul Fenter. Sorry to interrupt, but they're kind of going the same way again. But they're almost 3 wide there. Oh, and there's some more contact with Jason Luck behind.
And that's a push on Paul Fenter. He's just managed to gather that up.
In the wars, yeah.
More argy-bargy all over the place, guys. Watch out through the
corkscrew.
Side by side. That's fantastic, though. Goodness me, Mark Sutton, all kinds of racing action right now. And Indran Governor slips by. Paul Fenter tries to scamper away now as these two are battling. Whoa! Sutton gets so close under the bumper of Governor.
Looking racy and a little aggressive there, but now he's got some trouble with Stroud taking the inside line through the final corner.
Yeah, and loses another position because of it. And now he's got Jason Luck all over the back of him. Jason is very much used to sliding move up the inside in that Porsche, not having the strongest straight line speed, but certainly being incredible through the corners.
Yeah, we would half expect the Porsche to do well tonight. Very twisty section of track.
And not much of a top speed either.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Not long straights. Just having a dive back up to the front here. So the top three, you've got Hannes in front of Sean now, with Mark still holding third position. Looks like they've pretty much settled into a rhythm for now.
I do think Mark van Rensburg has found a little bit of pace over Sean Bingham at this early stage. He's definitely closed up a little bit, and hopefully Sean doesn't succumb to the pressure and is able to still keep on the back of Hannes van Wyk. Oh, it looked like...
I think that was a bit of a lag incident there.
Yeah.
Definitely some
looks like...
dotting around.
Yeah, it looks like maybe van Rensburg's connection's not brilliant, and actually he's fallen back slightly on Bingham, but it has allowed LaRue to catch up. So as they go over the line, hang on, where's our leader?
Sean. Where is our leader? Hardest is... Wait.
Hannes van Wyk is dropping down hugely. He's fallen right down. He's tumbling down. 15th, 18th.
Oh my gosh.
What has happened? We didn't see anything.
We didn't. I'm going to quickly go... I hope it wasn't that lag incident. I'm going to quickly just start a 2-minute custom replay. So here we are. I'm watching him now. He's in the lead of the pack. The replay did manage to catch it. He's crossed the line, heading down into T1. It's a significant gap to Bingham behind. Oh, what happens there? Nope, the replay ends, unfortunately.
Oh, he's got huge amount of damage on the front of the car and the rear of the car, so maybe he's lost it through the...
He's either lost it, or maybe there was that little lag spot we saw and a car collision as a result of that. I'm not sure.
I would doubt it, just because it only seemed to affect van Rensburg.
That's true. The other cars, in theory, you would think they would have been thrown off as well. So, unfortunately, we didn't see what quite happened to Hannes there. Maybe if someone's on Teams chat with him and can sound off in the YouTube channel.
My guess is going to be he went off at the corkscrew, but just because he was definitely leading the race through most of that lap, he was there. I was watching sort of Sean van Rensburg and LaRue, that trio trying to chase him down. Anyway, okay, we'll have to see how Hannes is able to tackle this. He's 3 seconds behind 17th place, and there's definitely a big gaggle of cars there, so he's going to be able to make some positions up.
Yeah.
The top of the pops, though, the 3 Ferraris. Oh, so close. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Van Rensburg all over the back of Bingham. Looks like he gave him a little nudge there.
Good drive up the hill, but he's got nowhere to go. Oh, he's taking a dive up the inside of the corkscrew.
Oh, and we've got
Mark
that LaRue.
Yeah. Just taking the escape gravel. Boyce makes the position as a result.
Yep, so van Rensburg and Bingham still battling it out, first and second. And once again, we've got a bit of a gap to third and fourth because of Boyce going off. Oh, sorry, LaRue going off.
Yeah.
We'll see those switch around now. Typical ACC tower. There it is. So van Rensburg got some great pace, and we saw last season he had amazing pace in that Lambo, but now he's switched to that Ferrari. I feel like he's become a much stronger driver.
Definitely.
I really feel like it suits his driving style a lot better.
Yeah, definitely a better choice for him than over the Lambo. So it looks like in chat, Dennis Gillet's saying that Hannes may have run off the corner after rainy curve. See, Gomez is currently sitting in the pits, possibly repairing damage. The rear of his Ferrari is looking pretty scuffed.
I don't really know the names of the corners here. I don't know which one.
The Rainy is immediately following the corkscrew, basically.
Oh, right. Okay, I know the one you're talking about. Yeah, okay. It's definitely possible to get that horribly wrong. So that would explain it. It would certainly explain the amount of damage.
See Sutton now on the back of Gidrius.
Van Wyk is working his way up now. He's up to 15th already, 13th, I believe, now, once he crosses the start-finish line. Sean Bingham currently with the fastest lap, but I do feel like Van Rensburg has the pace on him. If he can just make it stick, Sean needs to just keep things nice and controlled. Very difficult to overtake on Laguna Seca if you don't have a massive pace advantage. Certainly one of those tracks you can just park it on the racing line and there's not too much the guy behind can do unless he gets an incredible run somewhere.
Yeah, it's all about that corner exit, you know, maybe up the hill, T5, T6, up that, I think it's the Rahel straight, just before the corkscrews, maybe a good opportunity, or just diving into the corkscrew itself, which I think we've seen. Van Rensburg here, meanwhile, on the back of Bingham, and this is again looking into the corkscrew. He doesn't make a dive.
No, it's just almost a little bit too short.
Too risky, in a way, if he did go for it.
Risky, yeah, definitely. Yeah. He's just trying to unsettle Bingham, give him something to think about, and that's certainly, especially coming into the corkscrew, you don't want a guy running up into your back bumper there. So easy to get unsighted as the driver leading away. Oh, not sure about that exit from Bingham. No, it seems alright.
Oh, and just behind, I've seen Moritz Krokamp behind him. That was Armand de Bod. And who else was in the green there? Anthony Moritz? No, it wasn't Moritz. Just got turned around there. Just after the corkscrew. I think it was Moritz Krokamp. Krokamp, Stroud, and Mon de Bod now also under attack by Jaco de Beer. This is quite close coming into T1, although de Beer runs quite wide and has to collect. And, quite scrappy over the curbs there as well. See how unsettled that car was, and he's got Hannes van Wyk in a very fast BMW now behind him.
I must say, I was wondering about that Aston of Paul Fenter and how well it would do when we were in qualifying, but just watching these top two guys in their Ferraris, it looks to me like this Ferrari is just absolutely planted round here.
Does seem like it's a bit on rails, yeah.
Yeah, it just looks like a really compliant and easy car to drive. Ooh, Van Rensburg just dips a wheel into the dust on the exit of the last corner. I'm not sure how stringent this track is for track limits.
I'm not entirely sure offhand, but yeah, just I guess a reminder to the viewers, you'll get 3 warnings for exceeding track limits and gaining an advantage, after which the 4th time you do it, you'll be getting a drive-through penalty. Oh, here we go, in from chat from Fridge. Thanks, Fridge. Hannes says he's an idiot and he hit the sausage curve.
Oh, no. That's really unfortunate. Fridge, why aren't you racing tonight? What's going on, man? Still tired from the Nürburgring race from last week. Oh, I tell you what, these guys, it's interesting to watch Van Rensburg and Bingham, because each one seems to be slightly stronger in different sections of the track.
Yep, as we just see Van Wyk get past de Beer. Yeah, we'll snap back to Van Rensburg and Bingham. We are just hanging on to each other right now. Yeah, where does he make his way through?
He's gone. Van Rensburg's gone.
Oh, shucks. Is that a disconnect?
Yep, it's definitely a disconnect. I was literally on board with him and suddenly he went...
Yeah, I wondered why my camera also auto-changed. That's unfortunate. So yet another... Well, not yet another. Just a disconnect
Yeah, that's very unfortunate. I wondered if there was something wrong with his connection because
That lag
we did
spike.
see that stutter
Yeah.
a while ago, and literally that lap there were that lap now that he disappeared on, there were a couple of instances where I thought his car looked very strangely twitchy,
Mm.
um, and then just
He's
coming through
spiking.
that last corner, I was like, oof, that's a little bit sideways there, but it wasn't, and then suddenly he was gone. So I
Yeah,
think
okay. Victim of a
my money.
shaky internet connection, sadly. And that's released all the pressure off Sean Bingham now. Next closest would be Hardest Boy, so both sort of just entering and exiting the corkscrew respectively. And then Mike LaRue now in P3, just under a second behind Hardest. But jump back down to Hannes van Veek. Looks like he's caught up to the back of Amand de Bod as they run up the hill. Looking nice and hard for the corkscrew. Definitely all over the back of de Bod now. Nice view of the Bono cam with the scales for Venomworks Racing, of course. Oh, when it cuts through there, not sure what that was about. It almost looked like it was being yielded, but I think it was just a mistake, perhaps, from de Bod. Running side by side with Krocamp now, yeah, easy pass already before the corner.
Looks like we have a pretty epic battle for 11th position. We've got oh yes, that's exactly who you're talking
Krocamp,
about.
and yeah, just as Hannes was making his way past them, but yeah, they're neck and neck, Krocamp and de Bod.
Sorry, I mispositioned. I was looking at the track map, looking for dices. Yeah, so the field has somewhat spread out now. Looks like this 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th battle is about the closest we've got on track at the moment. As you say, Sean Bingham is scampering away somewhat. At the moment, Paul Fenter is gaining a little bit, but maybe just hanging on at the moment, or trying to hang on to those Ferraris.
It's about 4 seconds adrift of Mike LaRue, so we'll keep a mental note on that gap and see if it starts coming down or what happens to it.
Yeah, I think it dropped very slightly that lap, but really not much at all.
See, just I'm not sure if you're watching the chat, but Fridge says he's missed a few too many, he's had some disconnects, no time to practice. But yeah, well done for pipping him by 0.3 in the Nord's endurance, he says.
Yeah, that was good fun. I'm riding on board with de Bod. Is he racing on keyboard?
I don't know the answer to that question. Is it?
Well, if you look on board, he's got to be racing on controller or keyboard or something.
Checking it out now. Oh, yeah, the wheel snapping that's either controller or keyboard. Yeah, not smooth whatsoever.
Up ahead, though, we've got
it's a big dive through corkscrew, and he gets it very wrong and into the tire barriers. That's going to be some significant damage. That was a massive hit, and I think it's going to say difficult to tell if he's holding the wheel straight or not with those snappy movements. But let's see if he pulls into the pits. I would assume he would immediately. Yeah, there he goes into the pits. Time to repair. Looks like he's definitely struggling to keep that in a straight line now. Yeah, Amand, Black Friday is upon us. Maybe keep an eye out on your wish list for any good deals. Definitely we'll have a better time of it on something with the smoothness of a wheel.
What Mark Sutton also has some very strange movements on his steering wheel as well. don't know if that's just our connection to him or what's going on there, but it looks like he's got.
It's got a local ping. Yeah, a lot of wiggles and corrections going into that wheel, but I wouldn't say the corrections as such. Just sort of looks like little oscillations almost.
Yes, yeah, it's
It is
odd.
interesting. Yeah.
Not sure what would cause that, but he is all over the back of Marks. This is of course for 7th position, so significantly into the top 10 now. Oh, Marks gets it wrong and runs very wide. Sutton tries to slot up the inside. They're going to go side by side.
It should be an easy
down.
pass.
Yeah, he should have the inside, so this should be in the bag for Sutton. Looks like it. Yeah. Just get that car turned in for turn 1. There we go. And yeah, that's a position made. Jason Luck has been quietly gaining positions in his Porsche, up to 6th position now, just 2.2 seconds behind Governor. So he's going to be trying to hunt him down. I'm not sure what sort of lap times Jason Luck. Last lap was a 23.7.
And there's only on 24.3.
Okay, so Jason's gaining hand over fist here.
Yeah. And speaking of gains, that gap on Paul Fenter, which was hovering about 3.5 to 4 seconds, is now down to 2.
Yeah, that Aston's coming alive, isn't it?
Yeah. Definitely pacey. Paul's last lap 123.4 versus Mike's 124.7.
Yeah, Sean Bingham though is absolutely flying. I mean, he's pulled out another second or and a half on Hardest Boyser now, so he's really got the measure of that Ferrari now that he's got some clean air, and with Mark van Rensburg unfortunately disconnecting. So it could be some huge championship gains here for Sean if he can keep it on the black stuff for the moment. Paul Fenton now 2 seconds behind Mike LaRue. So that gap is fluctuating a little bit, but definitely coming down.
Yeah, Paul looking pretty solid out there for now. Let's just have a walk through the field. I see Mark signing off in the chat as well. Ye old disconnect. Sorry, Mark. And Armand Debard is not registering on my screen either. Is he also disconnected? I think he might have. Timothy Gomez now running in P17 then. He's taken his pit stop for those early repairs and put in at least a litre of fuel. So he's passed. Aaron Myberg is about a minute up the road from Timothy, having taken that pit stop. Vermeer Hatting. There's McLaren, Anthony Moritz. Has sort of recovered to P10 now, but the charge is going to ever sort of slow down as he works his way through the top end of the field now, towards it. His next victim will be Gidrius, 3.5 seconds up the road.
Yeah, and Hannes is doing 23.8 while Gidrius is doing 24.7. So, yeah, Hannes took a huge chunk out of Gidrius that lap. Expect a overtake will be fairly imminent. I'm not sure where Hannes is going to manage to affect the overtake, but let's see. Paul Fenter, the gap 1.6 seconds now, so I think possibly by the end of the next lap after, he's going to be right on the bumper of Mike LaRue. So Hannes starting to line up Gidrius. Oh, Gidrius running very wide through the corkscrew. That's going to give Hannes a run, and I think he's just going to sail through easy as you like. Yep.
Now one mistake is all it takes.
Yeah, and Hannes will be very happy with that. I mean, obviously he's gonna be keen for a dice, but he's just trying to
chap again to the top end.
Yeah. So any overtakes that he can affect without losing any time
Yeah.
is going to be hugely valuable. I mean, he did a 23.8. We had done a 23.8 the lap before. Obviously, he did have to work his way through. Bingham's doing a 23.4 though, so Sean is absolutely flying. 23.6 for Boycer, 23.5 for LaRue, 23.3 for Fenter though. So Paul Fenter really has found a lot of pace suddenly in that Aston. It's almost like his tires needed to come in a little bit, burn off some fuel. Maybe he's running super heavy on fuel, and that's why. Ooh, somebody's off. Somebody's off. Who's that's Mike LaRue. Mike LaRue runs off, and that's position done and dusted for Fenter.
Let's see if I can catch that. 30 seconds back on Mike LaRue now. That was into the corkscrew. Did you just get it wrong at the corkscrew?
No, it should be after the corkscrew. Yeah, you'll find him going off on the second last corner, I think.
Looked like perhaps he'd hit that sausage curb or something and unsettled the car.
Yeah, and he just ran wide off. Not Mike. Ooh, hang on. We've had two people disconnect.
Oh no!
Suddenly, Hannes van Wyk
It's gone.
has gone.
Yeah.
He pulled into the pits. He actually went into the pits and then left.
Is he thrown in the towel? A lot of damage, perhaps?
I don't know, but I mean, his lap times weren't that bad, and he was making progress back up the field. And considering how many people have had to disconnect or skip or miss out tonight, you know, those points could have been super valuable.
Well, maybe he'll sound up in chat, but that's, sorry to see another disconnect. But meanwhile, the closest battle now, Stroud and Crowcamp battle for P10. Bridge says, we haven't seen a luck dive bomb. You can tell him I said that.
Not yet, anyway. The light is
yet.
yet young, Fridge.
Oh, a little bit wide there by Stroud. And Crowcamp's dropped back, though. Jason Luck has quietly put himself up into P6 right now.
So obviously Jason has done pretty well with keeping his nose clean. Although it does look like he might have a little bit of scuffs on the side of that, on the side and the rear, yeah. So not entirely out the wars.
Just 1.5 seconds adrift of Endron. Slightly faster lap times on the last lap. Jason, that is. Could be a battle brewing in a couple laps' time.
So, just having a look at Paul Fenter's last lap time at 24.7.
Very wide luck in the Catilita there. Sorry, you're saying 124.7?
Yeah, so that's a lot slower than Boycer, which is interesting. We'll have a look what happens when they cross the line.
That's true. He's coming around the final corner now.
Dead exactly 0.00, and Fenter 23.7. So I think, I think Fenter just had a little bit of a wobbly on the previous lap with Mike LaRue going off. Might have slightly unsighted him. Made sure you make that overtake, and suddenly you find your Delta flying away.
Yeah, he's spun himself around on track. He was about 0.1 seconds behind Anthony Moritz, I think it was, but now he's recovered safely, but lost out in a position to Renier Hatting. It goes through.
Yeah, and Fenter's pace is definitely quicker than LaRue as well now, so he is pulling away about 3-4 tenths a lap at this stage. Govinder's still, I don't want to be harsh, but I mean his lap times at the moment 25.3. Jason Luck, although Jason Luck's 26.0, so something happened on the last lap for Jason as well. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see Jason closing up on the back of Fenter at some point. Just needs to keep it nice and consistent, because I'm pretty sure he has the average pace over Endron at the moment. Look at somebody in the pits, I see.
It's Tyrone Myberg.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, Tyrone Myberg in the pits. Okay, so Endron does a 24.5, so definitely something happened on that last lap to do such a slower lap time. And Luck at 24.7, so in fact, actually Endron pulling out a gap on Jason there.
Yeah, I think that's when Jason hit the kitty litter and just lost some time in that prior lap. So certainly pushing that Porsche.
I see Bingham has come up against the back marker of Gomez, Timothy
yeah.
Gomez.
Yeah. I think Timothy's running a new livery, because he was, if I recall, that the red and yellow. Ooh.
Oh, he slowed down hugely out of that corner.
Yeah, it was very much caught Bingham off
Massively.
guard there. Not sure why. I think just a little bit of unpredictability, unfortunately, from Timothy. Caught out Sean, I think.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. Sean's probably deeply unhappy about
Yeah,
having
the
some
front end is
damage.
now. It had kept his nose clean, literally.
Timothy in the pits now.
For the second time, repairing some more damage.
Yeah, it might be interesting to see if Sean ends up repairing that damage. I imagine he won't.
If it's straight on enough, it shouldn't have knocked the suspension or anything. Just a little bit of error, I would think.
Cost him hugely in lap time, though. His last lap time was a 25.8 compared to Boycer, 24.1. So, yeah, that lost him a huge amount of time.
Yeah. We'll just have to see what the subsequent laps are like. That gap to hardest is about 4.5 seconds. 4 seconds, maybe.
Mike LaRue has caught back up to Paul Fenter, though. He's found some pace.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's gap's under a second now, so Paul will be feeling that.
Running quite wide out the exit. Mike LaRue dipping wheels into the dust. It's like hardest Boycer now coming up against some back markers and Sean Bingham as well. Through the corkscrew, both of them go. Looks like Sean has had De Beer pull over for him, and it looks like Hatting pulled over for Boycer. So no backmarker troubles this time around. Let's have a look at their relative lap times. Bingham 26.0, so really suffering at the moment. Boycer 25.0, so a full second quicker.
Well, that's gonna hurt with still 44 minutes of this race to go. Makes you wonder if he does choose to pit a little earlier and repair some of that damage. Don't know.
I guess it just depends on how much he believes that damage is affecting his pace versus back markers slowing him down. So of course
Yeah.
that you got to manage your way through those back markers. Sort of absolutely part of racing.
Just got a tip off from Fridge to check out Paul Fenter's stream. He obviously likes to stream his races live, and apparently he's got the old wife beater on. Must be quite
I'm
hot.
not sure we want to see that.
I will not cut to it on live stream. But yeah, it must be nice and toasty in, is he Pretoria or Joburg where he races from? Not sure.
Thought it was Pretoria, but
Yeah.
I stand very much under correction.
I'm looking forward to some South African weather in a couple of weeks' time. I'm flying down briefly back to Cape Town for an
That's
end
for
of year
your
event.
company
Yeah.
Yeah, thought so.
Just as it starts to get nippy this side of the world, we've got forecasted minimums at -1, -2 later this week for the first time, dipping below 0.
Tropical, Ryan. I don't know what you're talking about.
Thanks for just getting around the beer as a back marker there.
Yeah, I'd be happy with that. That'll definitely give him some breathing room to LaRue.
Jason's, yeah, that gap to Endrin is still about a 1 second. Staying steady. Different lines through the corkscrew there, Luck compared to Govender. I do think Luck's line was better. It's actually caught right up now to the back of Endrin as a result. There may have been a slight mistake then on Endrin, not being the ideal line through the corkscrew. Artist is in the pits.
Yeah, with 40 minutes left, that's slightly before.
A little bit of an undercut. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a little wiggle there by Luck, and he had to catch that. Little snap. Hardest has put himself out in front of Gidrius. Racing for position technically, but no, Gidrius is in the pits now, so gets rid of that problem.
Looks like he's got about 2 or 3 seconds to crow camp up the road. Yeah, 2.5 seconds. So with so few cars on track, it's not a bad move, the undercut. Jason Luck all over the back of Governor now, and Mark Sutton behind him as well. So this is brewing
Awful
into a nice
position.
little battle, actually.
Yeah.
None of these drivers taking a pit stop, so this is, as you say, absolutely full position. It's not there are no pit stops to take into account here. Oh, Governor
engines
just
off.
makes an
Yeah.
error, and he goes off. We've seen a few people make an error there now, and Luck
was hacked by
scampers
Sutton.
through, followed closely by Sutton. So I wonder if Mark's going to be able to make a move here. Bingham into the pits, LaRue into the pits.
Okay.
So currently Fenter is leading the race. We are used to Fenter now going long into the race. So I'm not going to be surprised if we don't see Paul making an appearance in the pits until right at the very end of the race. Probably 10 minutes to go. There is no pit window, so to speak. Stop and go. Race control 1.
Gidrius,
Who is that? Is that
speeding in the pit lane? He's just exited, so very possibly.
Oh, and Mark Sutton going up the inside of Jason Luck, and there's a back marker in the head, and there's contact. Unfortunately, spins Jason Luck around, and Governor exactly has to take avoiding action.
30-second replay on this. Let's see it again.
Boycer is now ahead of Bingham. Sorry to interrupt while you're doing that as well. I think, unless the tower is playing silly buggers again.
There's Boycer. Yeah, he is ahead of Bingham.
Yep. So that either undercut or we've had James Stroud disqualified. I wonder what he's done.
Takes some
How
doing.
How did you manage that, James?
Have
you spent in the pits multiple times, or
maybe I think if you excessively speed, it can just instant DSQ you as well. So perhaps he missed the limiter or something. Oh, yeah.
My goodness, somebody diving into the pits in front of Bingham.
That's right. Jason Luck's in the pit. I don't want to say it's difficult to bomb it into the pits and get a speeding penalty. Wait, where's the timing line? Is it before or after the turn?
If you just flick the car into another gear though, in the pit lane, you can easily speed, but then
but that wouldn't be fast enough to DSQ. Surely,
you'd have to just floor it.
Yeah.
You can get a DSQ for driving the wrong way. Again,
there's a spin in the pit lane or something, or I don't know.
Uncertain what's happened there. Maybe James can jump into the chat and tell us what he did to be such a naughty boy.
So Gidrius and Luck are going to be exiting the pit lane at exactly the same time.
Okay, so Boyce has really gained heavily from this, because not only has he got the lead of the race, he's also got the rub of the green on some of the back markers as well. So Bingham's really had to work his way through. Much more than Boycer. We're going to see the tower change slightly now as Bingham goes through. They're into 5th now with Boycer ahead. Oh, hang on, Fenter's pitted.
Yeah, he's just exiting. That's surprising.
Sneaky Fenter has sneakily snuck into the pits and out without us noticing, and that puts him into what's that going to be? Net 5th, I believe.
Just behind Bingham, so yeah, 5th.
But he has definitely closed up. He's definitely closed up. As you say, very surprising. We're used to seeing Paul just putting loads of fuel into the car and off he goes.
Yeah, it's difficult. I can't even speculate whether he took tires or not, if it is a quick stop or not. So, yeah, very under the radar there, Paul.
But he does have Mike LaRue all over the back of him now. but possibly seeing that the undercut is working for drivers, maybe that's why
Yeah.
he pitted earlier than we
Yeah.
would generally expect, and it has, I think it has bolstered his position slightly. Looks like another speeding in the pit lane for Gudrus. Not learning his lesson the first time, unfortunately. I tell you what, what's his name? Aldous Boycer. He's absolutely flying at the moment. I don't know if it's new tires or what it is, but he is scampering away. Sean's going to be very happy that Mike is all over the back of Paul, because that's going to give him some breathing space as we see Paul just dipping some wheels into the dirt.
And again.
And again. So there'll be very little traffic for these guys now. Certainly not for the next few laps. Is Mike going to try and throw a move up the inside somewhere? Or is he going to... I mean, if the chances are... as I see Martin Crocombe now has...
exiting the pits.
Has a stop go 30 as well.
No, he's also got a penalty. Oh.
Goodness, so everybody's getting penalties here. Just somewhat surprising given the pit entry here, but yes. Stop go for race number 16. Maritz now.
They're just handing them out.
Me, guys. Jeez. Like the Oprah Winfrey show out here. So Mike's still unable to do too much about getting past Paul. Once again, we're seeing if you just stick to a good line, there's not an awful lot that the guy behind you can do.
Ritz is in the pits, just clearing his stop go 30.
Paul loves dipping a wheel onto the in the exit of turn. Call it turn 2.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Pushing those track limits to the extreme wide.
I mean, I don't think he was going to get a track cut for that, but it obviously just does slow him down.
Yeah, I was happy to do it. It seems.
I'm about happy, Ryan. I think he's just trying to push so hard, and possibly understeer that. Those turns 2 and 3, I've always found awful for camber, because they seem flat, but somehow they always seem to induce understeer, and they're just a pain, those corners every time. Yeah. They're possibly 2 of my least favorite corners in racing. I just never got along well with them. And then that Aston, of course, it is going to be predisposed to a bit of understeer. So pushing too hard, as we see Governor is in the pits, pushing too hard is going to make things worse. Is Indran going to get out without a stop go? And then maybe with Moritz serving his, we might have all of our penalties cleared.
Bridge quipping that did they change the pit speed limit halfway through the race?
Yeah,
Certainly
it does seem
out.
that way a little bit.
Catching a few guys out. Perhaps they just hadn't practiced the entry enough.
It's an easy thing to forget to do, I tell you what.
Yeah, practicing your pit entry.
Mike just not letting this one go. He does close
Looking
up.
close, yeah.
Yeah, through that yeah, through the corkscrew. Okay, so Moritz has cleared his stop go. So we should be
Everyone's cleared everything now.
out of the penalty zone.
Yeah, and that's all the pit stops with engines last.
Yeah. So Engine in 5th place, doing quite well out of those pit stops. I seem to remember him and Sutton were very close going into the pit stop phase, but now there's a little bit of a gap there, not a huge amount. If Engine's put on new tyres, then that's going to be great for him. We've got a yellow flag. I'm not sure what for. Can't see anyone off track, but there's
Seen one either.
my
Do you know that just in front of Venter is a back marker, and just in front of that was hardest. Maybe there was just a little bit of an off-track yielding or something.
possibly. I'm just strange that it seems to be showing a yellow for me.
Seems to be cleared now, at least on my side.
So Sutton is closing in on Governor quite quickly, possibly Governor getting those tyres up to temperature, which is allowing Mark to do so.
Yeah, I am seeing the yellow flag still. I don't know if it's across the entire track or if it's just...
It could be the game just getting a little bit wonky with these disconnects.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah. So Mark 23.4 for Mark Sutton last lap, which is really quick.
It's all over the back of engine, actually.
Yeah. Just on board with Sutton. Yeah, once again, his wheels just all over the place. I don't know what that's about.
That is strange. Not sure if he's driving on a gamepad controller or...
Very close there. But even a gamepad wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
I would have thought.
There's some monumental stick drift or something, but yeah, it's strange. But yeah, he's all over the back of engine regardless, and he swings out to the inside.
Ooh,
Ooh, he's
Endrin,
gonna
you
get
gotta give it a
squeezed.
space.
Ooh.
I don't know about that, Endrin. Goodness me.
Might be worth another look, but yeah. Oh,
Oh, he's going to be coming back at you pretty hard now, Endrin, I tell you what. Another driver dipping their wheels under pressure.
it's close now. Pulls over to the outside.
Yes, that won't work. That definitely won't work. Does keep the pressure on nicely, though. This is where you need a really good exit.
Up
He's
the
got
hill.
it.
That looks good. Gonna be a
He's got a
drag
good
race
exit.
down the back straight. Oh, he has to dive back in behind before the corkscrew, lest he have a really bad line. Oh, there we
Just
go.
having to back out on the exit. Double wave yellow for some reason. Through here.
It's possibly the car of Stroud sitting in the pits is disqualified, perhaps. That the game's got confused over.
Tell you what, that BMW's got such great traction out the last corner. It's really giving Sutton problems, but he's got up there. That's going to be contact.
And into the wall.
Didn't keep that tight enough on the exit, unfortunately, and that's caused that contact, I'm afraid.
And he's sitting there, no doubt, quite frustrated, I think. And yeah, Pulls to pits, pulls the tractor.
Yeah, unfortunately, you just needed to keep a tighter line on the exit there. Mike LaRue currently flying 23.3. Got Myber going off in front of him. Gets past
the
that back
Lambo.
marker quite easily.
Love the sound of that Lambo, but yeah, that's a back marker of Myberg.
Now, just 2.4 seconds now to Paul Fenter ahead, looks like. Fenter himself working his way through Timothy Gomez. And since the pit stop, Hardus Boycer really seems to have had the pace advantage on Sean. Which is strange, because Sean was absolutely flying to start with.
Once again, just did a slightly quicker, faster lap than Hardus.
Did I see that right? Did Paul Fenter just do a 23 dead?
23.2. That is a super quick lap.
Yeah. There's definite pace in that Aston.
Yeah.
Compared to Sean Bingham's 23.6, yeah, so he's gained 4/10. Boycer 23.8. So actually, everybody's starting to gain on Boycer. I mean, I know it's not a lot, but if we have this for a few laps, that's going to
I'm under
that's going to
significant
really
pressure.
close the gap. Yeah. Paul Fenton now just 1.5 seconds behind Bingham. I'm expecting a good chunk of time to come off Bingham's lap time. To come off the gap here. The boys are 23.4, 24.0, and 23.5. Yeah.
Big difference.
So scrappy lap from Sean. But is very close. How has that happened? How is he so close behind Boycer but did a slower lap than Boycer? I don't understand that. Unless I misread. 23.4, 24.0. Yeah, I don't understand that. Bingham still currently has the fastest lap of the race at 23.015.
Next closest is Paul. Actually, hardest is 23.03. Paul's 23.1.
Getting quite out of shape coming up the hill. He was very quick on his delta until that.
Who was that, Bingham or Boycer?
Bingham, sorry, Bingham.
Yeah.
Boyce is definitely down on his delta quite significantly, half a second down. So suddenly Boyce is really struggling. But Fent is also half a second down on his best. So Bingham's going to have a good lap here. 24.0, 23.5, 23.7. So, yeah. Bit of cat and mouse going on right now.
Battle for P9. Looks like Anthony Moritz is under a second behind Rainier Hatting. Front of that Ford also looking a little worse for wear.
Just feels like Bingham, now that he's got that gap down a little bit to Boycer, he's got the bit between his teeth again, and he's found some of that prodigious pace that we saw earlier on in the race. We see it so many times where we're chasing. It just brings out the best in you, particularly when you're not completely underneath the bumper of the car in front.
Yeah.
Chasing someone down, it can be a massive advantage.
I don't know if it would be to the extent where Hardest Boycer maybe was managing tires or anything.
Yeah, just a 10th quicker that time. Paul Fenter slipping back at 24.0. 23.2 though for Mike LaRue. Mike's also got some pace. If he can get some of that consistency going,
Yeah.
he's gonna join this pack as well. The thing with these GT3 cars is you got to be so consistent in them. Otherwise, before you know it, the guy behind you is going to be all over you. So even if you can do an absolutely stonking lap, it's not going to help if the other, 20 laps that you do are all over the show.
Speaking of, Hatting and Moritz are basically side by side just before the corkscrew, and then they file back in, single file. Very sensibly, I might add, otherwise that could have been very interesting.
Well, I tell you what, Boycer and Bingham are coming up on the back of them.
Oh, that's going to make it very interesting period, because no one wants to give up the position as a back marker when you're fighting someone else for position.
Yeah, Hatting 26.0, 25.7 for Moritz, while the guys behind them, Boycer 24.0. Oh, Bingham's just gone flying through. They're not teammates, are they?
They are, both with Team TTA. Did it look like team orders?
That was a team orders. Oh, and Bingham promptly has a massive slide through T2. So clearly they wanted to make that move happen before catching this next round of back markers.
Yeah.
Boycer must feel that Bingham's got the pace. Where are they standing in the championship right now? Who's ahead?
Let me do some digging. So Bingham is on 183 points.
Oh, hang on, Hatting and Moritz side by side into the corkscrew, managing to keep it all collected and all together. That's fantastic stuff from these two drivers. But it does look like Hatting keeps that place on Moritz. But great to see guys going side by side through the corkscrew. That is properly brave and keeping it clean as well. Well done, gents.
Kudos for that. But I just can't help but think that bearing down upon them are the race leaders here. This is still going to be an interesting battle as Moritz has a little look.
Yeah, so Boycer obviously letting Bingham through his lost out hugely, but it's brought Paul Fenter into play.
Yeah. It is quite interesting because technically Hardest is leading the championship right now over Bingham. They're P1 and 3 with Ross splitting them.
I wonder why they did that. Bingham within a second now of Moritz. Whether or not he's seen that, obviously the blue flags are out, but when you're battling, he's got that very wrong, and he's now going to pull over. It's a horrible place to have to pull over. Bingham's through. Now he's going to get swamped.
They'll do it again by Boycer and then Fenter. They'll lose a chunk of time.
Oh dear.
That's just parking it at the entry of the corkscrew.
Yeah, that could have gone badly, but luckily everybody lives to see another day. And now he's going to have to try and catch up to Hatting. I'm not sure.
Who's caught up?
He's going to just let them through.
Donovan Marks is also all over the back of Andrew Governor.
Back of Governor, yeah. Look at this.
Seemingly came out of nowhere.
We have seen a mistake or two from Indran. Maybe that's caused it. Where's Luck? Jason Luck is in 7th. I'm surprised he's so far down, actually. Because he was running solidly in 5th at one stage.
Yeah, Mark's pulling out. Oh, slips back in.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's 7 seconds down the road. Luck.
I mean, maybe he took tires and everybody else didn't. I'm not sure.
Boyce and Fenter are going to get around Hatzing, who's just yielding for blue flags.
Mark's getting the power down quite nicely out the last corner. But that BMW just absolutely scampers away down this
It's got
not so
much
straight. Ooh, lots of weaving on the wheel from Mark's. That's going to make his braking less than efficient.
So, I know there's a McLaren in the mix there, Gidrius, but I think that's not for
He's
position.
the lap down.
Yeah.
No, he's the lap down. While these two are fighting, Luck is probably going to be gaining. Oh, it's
Fenter is all over the back
yeah.
of Boyce, who's just run into the kitty litter. He made a mistake all on his own, and that's been a position swap.
So that puts Fenter up into 2nd.
Fenter's taken the lead of this race, actually, somehow.
Ooh, Marks is off into the kitty litter as well, and that's given Fenter, Governor a massive...
Yeah. How did Paul get around...
It must have been a mistake.
Boyce? Yeah.
Can only be. Maybe I was right at the beginning of this this whole stream. Maybe the Aston's the car you want to be in around here.
And on paper,
Might have
historically, it
looking a
had the
bit of a
fastest lap
handful.
times.
Yeah.
Oh, and Boyce runs wide again.
A 25.9 for Boyce, a 24.2. Is that, what's that for Bingham? 24.3. It's not that. No, it's, I guess a 2.5 off his. Yeah, he's definitely had an incident. But Boyce at 25.9, he had a bigger incident, yet he's ahead. That makes no sense. So it must have been the previous lap.
Yeah, that he'd already gotten past.
Yeah. I don't know how we missed that. Sorry, everyone.
We've missed Paul's sneaky pit stop, and we've missed him taking the lead of this race. But it's flying under the radar, literally, Paul Fenter. But yeah, he's put himself up to P1.
Although Boyce is all at the back of him again, so there's less than a second now between them.
Yeah, it's not out of the woods. Just under 10 minutes of this race left.
Yeah, just 0.2 of a lap, just a second quicker. Bingham another 24.9. Bingham's really struggling now suddenly. Maybe he has a bit more damage on the car now. Something drastic has happened.
Something's not quite happy with that.
It's brilliant to see such a close battle for the lead of the race right at the end.
Yeah, it's good to
I can see Moritz and Hatting are still going at it as well.
Marks and Govender are together again. Battle for
Ooh,
5.
Moritz going up the inside of Hatting into the corkscrew once more. Hatting will get better braking performance, but looks like Moritz has got that
It's gonna
move
hang
done
on
and
to this.
dusted.
Yeah, good job.
Our lone Ford runner for tonight, making a move nicely into the top 10 now. Boyce are falling back on Fender that lap.
There's a wheel dipped into the stand there from Governor, and that's brought Marks right up, and he might even have a good drive up the hill here. Just needs to navigate the left-hander up the hill. He's got Luck behind him as well. This is
Behind
a
him, yeah.
trio battle now. And Luck's got the
Luck's
legs.
going up the outside.
Ooh, off track almost.
Ooh, watch out, give the space. Hey, the
Diving
space was
across
given.
the line. Yeah.
Luck making a fantastic move work there, actually.
Yeah. Got away with it. Doesn't look like any track violations, track limits.
I mean, for a move like that, you'd be happy to use up one of your sweeties, that's
Yeah.
for certain.
And there's a good chance he has, but we've got one in the bag at least.
The lap time is a hell of a lot quicker than both Governor and Marks. So I wonder if he took tires or something, and that's why the drop down relative position
off
from
goes
the
Marks in the background. Did that all on his own, I fear.
Yep, did look that way.
Spins it round and waits to rejoin in parallel safely offline. Lost out a couple of positions and might even one more. That's Bingham, so that's not a position.
Oh, Governor running wide again out that exit towards the top of the corkscrew. Allows Luck to catch up.
Luck again taking that, very compromised line there.
Yeah. Just trying to find a way through on Governor any way he can. I think that Porsche is particularly good through the corkscrew, so he'll naturally catch up there.
Oh, Hatting on Moritz. Moritz has got it all wrong. Hatting has to go around the outside because there's a back mark of Gidrius there. Somehow retains the position, Anthony Moritz. Got lucky there, I think, with the back marker almost blocking Hatting, I think. It goes very deep, Hatting. Not the greatest of lines. Jason Lax doing a bit of stand farming as well.
Farming?
Yeah.
Yep. He's really trying to push hard to catch up to Governor. Again, just dipping a wheel in the sand. Half a second quicker than Governor that lap, and I feel it was quite a scrappy one as well. So Luck's definitely got the pace. Can he make a count? Get that 5th position back. Ooh, running all over. That's going to be a spin. Clipping the big sausage curb on the inside. And that unfortunately ends that duel. Paul Fenter now coming through is probably going to come up behind Jason. And with Hardest Boyser all over the back of him, just 0.3 difference between them, Jason needs to jump out the way to not... Because I think they're teammates. Yep, does so.
Blitzed luck.
You can see Boyser is pushing so hard.
Gap firmly under a second now. With only 2.5 minutes left of this race.
So we should get 2 more laps in, with 2 laps left. Really not much time for Hardest to make a move here.
Not at all.
Fenter just needs to keep this on the track, really. You see how much better the mid-engine mid-engine Ferrari is over the Aston.
Oh, side by side.
That's not going to work, I wouldn't have thought. No. Yeah, it's going to compromise him as well now. You can see why he was trying to make a move there, because through those right-handers, it's just so much quicker than Paul. Natural characteristics of that mid-engine Ferrari versus the front-engined Aston. Of course, we don't know what condition their tyres are in, respectively, but...
It's a good attempt, though.
Yeah, I guess he had to go for something, and that was the only option open to him, but yeah, around the outside there is just never really going to work. It's an unfortunate place to be a lot quicker. Last lap.
Give it all you can.
Slightly closer to Paul this lap, actually. Oh, he's overcooked it. Yeah, lost a huge amount of time there. Be quicker through here. You can see Paul struggling on the exit. Oh, but just pushing so hard. And again, cars just slide. You can hear those tires just sliding over the tarmac. Overcooking the tires, just pushing for everything that it's got. Last lap. Don't need to make anything last any longer. Through the corkscrew one last time. Now, Paul loves the dipper wheel there. Yeah. Hard on the brakes into the last corner, but nothing doing. These guys are going to cross the line. Fantastic result for Fenter, who's just kept his nose clean all race. He takes the win over Hardest.
Great race.
Barely anything in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very solid race. Stayed out of trouble. Sparse when it mattered. Nice and consistent. Got the pit stop timed really well.
Sean Bingham coming home in third.
Sean Bingham third, yeah. Team TTA 2 and 3. Mike LaRue. Venomworks Racing comes home in P4. Engine Governor in his Beamer. Talk Academy. I think he's still got a while to go actually, but there's no one really around him.
No, he'll easily come home in fifth.
Yeah, because Luck's already across the line actually in P6. Donovan Marks takes P7. Moritz Krokkamp will be sailing around the final corner now to take home P8. Put the final timetable up on the screen. Renier Hatting P9, Jaco de Beer P10, Tyron Myberg to the 11, Gidris takes P12, and Timothy Gomez last to finish as P13. And yeah, that was round 4 of the GT3 Championship.
That was fantastic. Thank you everybody for joining us. It's been wonderful to bring this to you. And yeah, we hope to see you next week, where we'll be back in the Volvos.
It's going to be a real cracker next week. We're at Mount Panorama, Bathurst.
Yeah, that's going to be a very interesting one. How the drivers deal with the reverse grid around for the second sprint race around that very tricky tight course is going to be interesting to watch. That's for certain.
Definitely going to be an interesting one to watch. But yeah, thanks again everyone for watching, for tuning in, for supporting everyone tonight. Final thank you again to our sponsors for making all the magic happen tonight. JooTech Simworks sponsoring the race server that we've just seen on simworks.gp. Keep an eye on their socials. I've got all the links in the description of the video as well. And you can go check out what they're doing and catch them in person at Rage for next weekend as well, from the 29th. But this is us, Simrace SA, signing off. Thanks very much, everyone. Thanks, Nick. Have a good evening further.
Thank you, everyone.
Ciao, ciao.